Hey, Melissa. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for being willing to give this testimonial. Really appreciate it. I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and then you can just talk about your experience working with me one-on-one. So we worked one-on-one. So tell me kind of like, what made you want to do this in the first place? Like before we ever talked, when you scheduled the call, what were you thinking?
Well, here's what I was thinking, and this is where I was at. So I'd been 12 years out of my marriage. And in that time, I'd had 6 relationships ranging from 6 months to 4 years. And I think when I met you, I had been 18 months into a relationship with a man in a different country. And I was starting to have some huge doubts and reservations about the viability of our relationship. And I just thought to myself, here we go again. I can't continue to do the same thing. I need someone to look at what's going on in here so that I can do something differently. Yeah. That's where I was at when I met you. I was like, it's time for someone to watch exactly what's going on in there so I can change how I'm doing it.
Yeah, no, totally hear you. And you wanted to be in a relationship. Like at the end of it, your hope was that, hey, I'm going to be in a relationship. Did you have a vision of what that relationship would look like? Did you think a healthy, happy, loving relationship was possible?
No, you know what? I think I'd lost a bit of faith at that point. And I didn't really have a vision for my relationship. Maybe I had a few underlying feelings, but I didn't have a vision, so to speak, until you took me through the Irresistible You Worksheets. Mm-hmm. That was the point that I got a clear vision of what my relationship could look like. And I really felt that, all those journal prompts, that was a huge turning point for me, because I started to really embody that idea that it was actually possible.
Yeah. And then what did you think about the possibility that that man existed?
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember.
I know it's hard now because now you've been together with him for a year.
Yeah.
He wasn't there.
Yeah. I think maybe I don't know. I'm not quite sure how to answer that question at this point. I think I felt a safety in working with you. And I remember saying to you a couple of months in, watch this space. By 4 months, I'm going to have met this person. I was pretty determined. I think I used some of my coaching skills. I thought, well, if I can do this, that's right. If I can do this in business, if I can do this with my own brand, then I can absolutely do this in my love life. So I did start to believe that it was possible.
Yes, that's so, and it showed up because you really did go through the process. We did the first section of the work was looking at your past relationships.
Yes,
that was very interesting, looking at the patterns.
Yeah, I remember you saying to me, so this man that you keep talking about, that you had a 4-year relationship with, that was so good and so defining and, really taught you a lot. I'm just struggling to see what actually held you there. Tell me about that. I have not forgotten that.
Yeah, it was a very neglectful relationship. He literally neglected you emotionally the whole time.
Yeah.
So the sticking issue was the fact that your brain did not see that.
No, it had not registered it.
Yeah.
So, and I think that has been a true process too, even in this new relationship. Yeah. I find my brain going back to that piece where I really actually felt that we were super connected and that we had this wonderful future and we had a skill set that we could, come together with and build something. And I just, it was all in my head, what the substance wasn't actually there.
Yeah, our brains are that powerful. Our brains can create a whole experience inside here that, like, in the world you're not experiencing it, but you're telling yourself that you are. So I know that happens. I think that was the big that was the big thing that we really dealt with. And then we moved on after some months to dating when you were ready. I mean, you started it a little later than I would have preferred as the coach, but when you did, do you remember your response before you got on the app?
Yes. Well, first of all, remember I was actually seeing someone or thought I was seeing someone because we were coming through the pandemic. So we were all isolated and I'd had this texting phone conversation with this man. And I was actually super cut up when that came to an end. But I think this was the one piece at the beginning that I was super grateful to have you in my life at that point for, was you pushed me into that relationship or friendship, and you made me ask for what I wanted. And it became super obvious really quickly that he wasn't interested. Now, that process on my own would have probably taken a year. It was over and done with within 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that propelled me into, okay, I'm going to be open to using the apps. And I'd never been on a dating app before. And I had an amazing experience. Do you remember?
Yes, you had a short, beautiful experience.
I did have a short, beautiful experience. I remember reaching out. I thought, I'm just going to, you start out as someone fresh and new on this app, and you get inundated. And I thought, how am I going to do this? Right, I'll just let the first 10 men in, I'll reassess them for compatibility and see how we go. And I ended up talking quite a lot to about 7, and then it got down to about 4. And I had a really great 2 to 3 week experience talking with 4 beautiful, intellectual, interesting men. It was great.
I love it. I love it. And when we had both things going, so we had the app, online dating going with you, and we had the offline dating going as well.
Yeah. You helped me to believe that, or you helped me to see and therefore believe that I actually met a lot of men organically.
Yes. And you had great interactions with the people you met organically anyway. Like you already had that. Like a lot of my clients, I have to work with them in their interactions or, feeling comfortable around that. So you had that gift already, but you didn't see it. You didn't realize that, like, oh yeah, no, I actually do meet men.
Yeah, that was such a turning point. You pointing that out, really, I appreciated that so much. So so in between talking with these 4 men over a 2 to 3 week period, you had said to me, I really want you to go to all of your friends and say, if you feel like there's someone that I should meet, that it was time to introduce me. And I remember my girlfriend of, more than 15 years putting her hand up. It was just the most hilarious thing. Oh, yes. Well, actually, I might know someone. And I thought to myself, have you not been watching this train smash for the last 12 years?
It's an energetic thing. Like the doors were all closed because up here you weren't ready. So it never occurred to her energetically to introduce you. It wasn't like she was hiding him from you. It was just not on the table, especially if you're seeing someone else.
Yes.
Which is, I always tell people, listen, we've got to work on how you are seeing people, because you don't realize just how many doors close when you pick a person.
That's so true.
Yeah. So good. So, all right. And so she introduced you to the person that is now your partner.
Yes. Yeah.
And how long? So we worked together, I think, before you met him. What was that? 9 months altogether? Because we did 6 months. We did a 6-month stint, and then I think, was that?
I met him in the first 4 months, I think.
The first 4 months. Oh, right. Okay, so when we worked after that was to nurture the commitment in that relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. Remember, I made it my mission. 4 months, Sade, watch me.
Yes, and you did, but you set the intention and you followed the process. And that's literally how our brains are so powerful. Our confidence, like when we have that confidence and when we have that intention and we do the things that go with it, it's like everything comes together to get
I
us what we
think
want.
just mentioning again those Irresistible You prompts that you gave me, they really were significant because I'd never thought about dating from my perspective. It was always about, are they, what's going on for them versus what's actually going on for me? What is it that I want? How do I see my life? And really stepping into that vision, that was significant.
Yeah, that's a key cornerstone of the process.
Yeah.
So we did work together one-on-one. What is the best part to you about working with a coach one-on-one?
Are you going to miss out my whole dating process? No. Oh gosh, I think, you and I have talked a little bit about this before. Having someone in your corner, someone who knew me before I started dating.
Yeah.
This person, someone who knew all of my fears and insecurities and my patterning as I was starting to date this person, and all of those things as we moved through to commitment. Having that thread move through was super powerful. Yeah.
Would you say go ahead.
I think as I'm a relationship coach myself, I would come to the call with you. You would show me all the things that I was completely unaware of, as a good coach does, and I was able to implement that into my own relationship and then help 10 or 15 clients in the same way, which was really powerful. So for my learning, that was really good.
I'm so glad for you. And I think we could go into your whole process, but I know we did talk about some of all the things that happened on the podcast episode. So I think I'll link that up as well. But because it's testimonial, I'm trying to edit it. Long story short, you met the man of your dreams.
I did.
Right. Year in, now you've been together almost a year. How does that feel?
Yeah, well, I think, again, going through the process with you helped me to really understand when I met him, it was a full body yes, like in a way that I had never experienced before. So I was in a place where I was very clear about what I was looking for, and Joseph walked in, and it was like a coming home. So that was really amazing. Yes, a year in, and it still feels exactly like that. Of course, we're working towards being more full-time together, bringing our two families together, but absolutely the most wonderful decision to come to you as a dating coach and have you nurture those first 6 to 9 months of our relationship was incredible. And I hope to do some more work with you. I feel really good about the place that we got to. And, I'm 43 and I've met the man of my dreams. It's all possible.
It is possible. I know. And I know, like I always talk about the day before. Like I tell my clients, there's a day before you meet your person.
Yeah.
What you do that day before makes all the difference to the day you meet them. It's like it's 1 or 0. You're, you can't be a little bit in the relationship with the person. And so a lot of the work is to define what the day before looks like, what your experience before looks like, so that, like you said, it's that full body yes, you recognize him because you've worked out all of the kinks before
that's so cool, because actually tomorrow is the day that I spoke to him a year ago, because it's my son's birthday. So I remember.
Wow.
I remember the day before and where I was at.
Yes, I remember the day before I met my husband too. Like I remember the day before. I remember what I was doing. I remember how I moved into that day. Like it's just seared in my memory. So, well, congratulations again.
Thank
what
you.
Would you say to someone who's like, I'm thinking about working with Sade, I'm not sure, it's kind of like I'm thinking about it, like what would you tell them?
Yeah, I think my philosophy has always been, why would you not hire an expert? Really. So if someone has been through this process and helped multiple women through this process, why would you not? And I think, just going back to my original point of, I needed someone else to monitor how I was showing up, what I was thinking, how I was processing, because I just didn't want to repeat the same patterns that had kept me where I was, which was, not committed, and not finding someone who was a good match for me. So yeah, and I think I love the way you coach too. It is very collaborative. We had a lot of laughs.
A lot of laughs.
Yeah. A lot of tears, a lot of crying, a lot of laughs at the same time. And I think you have such a relaxed, I felt like you were my friend. Yeah. When we coached together. And I think that was super powerful in creating something together.
Yes, 100%. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being willing to give this testimonial. I will say, I think the way you showed up to the work was also you showed up so curious and so ready, and you were willing to look at all the parts of your brain, all the parts of your life. And, that had a lot to do with the results that you achieved, because you were like, okay, what is it? Where is it? Where is the thing? I want to look at it. I want to see it. I want to turn it upside down. So yeah, definitely just want to acknowledge you for just being, the perfect client. Like, you showed up for yourself. You wanted the thing. You were like, yeah, I want this. And I don't feel like there's any part of me that I want to like hold on to at the expense of this thing that I really want. So I'm really happy for you. I'm happy for you and Joseph. Happy that a year later, you're doing amazing. All right. Thank you. I guess we're going to say goodbye. I don't know how to end video testimonials. Stop recording now.